Episode 42 of the Emergency Storage Shed Clean Out series. I always have trouble saying that. We're back here to get another box out of this shed. It might be a fairly quick episode. I have to go off to the farm next week, and you will see this next week while I'm at the farm. We've got to get a box out of here. Last week's episode was interesting. An old box full of what looked like total junk, and it ended up all right. What will we find this week? Let's have a look. So we continue to work down this set of steel shelves in the middle of the room. I thought we'd do this box up on top here. I have not looked in it. It's quite heavy, so I'm guessing metal of some sort, tools. It won't be scrap, I wouldn't think, but maybe tools and shed stuff. And depending how long it takes us, we might work out what we're going to do with these old circuit breakers, because that's part of the purpose of these videos, is not only pricing stuff out and having a look for treasures. We do need to deal with everything, make decisions, get it out of here. I've obviously put these aside years ago. I think I vaguely remember watching a YouTube video and some guy getting big lumps of stuff saying, look, this is real silver. And I've since discovered that it was only silver plated. And the video, I actually searched for it recently and I couldn't find it. So clearly it's been taken down. You can get silver contacts. You can certainly get decent lumps of brass and copper. We'll have a look at those, but let's have a look at this wooden box first. If nothing else, it's not a bad box. What's it say on the top? Shed. Well, that really doesn't shed any light on it, does it? It's a cool box. Oh, let's have a peek. What can we see? I see the handle of an old screwdriver. Yeah, it might be old tools. Let's take it through to the workbench. Okay, it's not super heavy, so it probably won't take us long, but hopefully there's something good in here. And it does only say shed. Okay, Mr. Shed, let's have a look. Oh, okay, not much, but some older stuff. That's cool. All right, a nice old carpenter screwdriver. I've had these before. They do clean up very well. They're generally early 1900s. It's got a brass ferrule on it, so that's well worth cleaning up. The timber handle's not too bad, so we'll certainly buff that up on the wire wheel. We'll get the brass to shine. We might even be able to read a brand on it. And I expect we'll get at least $10 to $15, depending on how well it cleans up. We might even sand the handle and give it a little bit of beeswax. Not a lot of time involved, and certainly good value adding. We have a pulley. It's quite heavy. I'd say it's cast iron. It actually has a aluminium look to it. Oh, okay. It's not aluminium. It's not cast iron. I'd say it's a die cast or a cast zinc. It's got a set screw in it. Would suit a little electric motor. I'll hang on to that because I do have a few electric motors around here that I may use in projects. So good little V-belt pulley there. This is a saw set. It's a very heavy duty one. Perhaps it's for bigger circular saws, I'm not sure, but it's much heavier than most of them I've seen. It's a cast iron rather than a brass. Some of them are brass, but this one is certainly cast iron. Most of it's original black paint. I'm not going to buff that up. I like the look of the original paint. I think we'll actually just put that in the shop totally as it is. I will check, see if it's got a brand on it, and do a quick search. They are quite collectible, and they're still very usable. So that may be for a large circular saw rather than a hand saw. So not sure on that one. I would think $15 to $20 just without any checking. This looks like, I don't know, is it some sort of, I don't know. If you know what that is, let me know. It will probably go into my $1 box at the shop, and someone may recognize it and think they've found a bargain. It may never sell. Maybe we'll never find out. It might have been a part of something larger. It could go in the heavy melt steel for just heavy scrap, but it's only a matter of a few cents. I think we're better off putting that in the dollar box at the shop, unless you guys can point me in the right direction. Some little spanners. That one's just basically cut out of a piece of flat steel. It does have a name on it. I can't quite read. I don't expect that's going to be worth much more than $1. This one's a nice old cast spanner. Very thick jaws on it. We might just buff that up and see if there's a name on it. But oh, it's chipped away at the front jaw there. It's possibly come as a toolkit with some piece of machinery. These are feeler gauges. I had a guy ask me just the other day in the shop if I had any. and it's just for setting valve tappets. They're in pretty good condition. 15, that'll be in thou, 6 thou, 12 thou, and the thinner one, which is often the case, has been torn off. It's still quite usable, but we don't know how many thou it is. Probably a couple. And is the other end metric? No, it's only got the one end. So we will buff that, as it looks like it says Sheffield. We'll clean that up. That's got to be worth at least $5. A little ruler that was a bigger one and it's been cut down. It starts at about 1.5, and I don't know whether it was a 6-inch or even longer. It's actually Raybone and Sons England, so a well-known company for making woodworking tools and measuring instruments. But given that it's been cut down, I think just a $1 box for that. A little sanding. I haven't seen something like that before. I wonder if it's homemade. But it's obviously just a little sanding apparatus. Separate plate. You can clamp your sandpaper in there. I wonder if that will have a use. I'll clean that up. It may be branded if it's a proper tool, or it may be homemade. A little Yale padlock. Well, padlocks are very collectible. This is, I think Yale were made in the States. Oh no, it says Germany. Okay, interesting. It's a pressed tin one. I think it's tin, not brass. Yep. Well, when I say tin, steel, because technically tin is quite a rare metal, but we talk about things being tin when originally they were just tin plated. I may even have a key for that at the shop. Without a key, I'd put $5 on it. With a key, maybe 15. A pencil sharpener. I will actually keep that here because I have a range of workshop pencils that need sharpening. It's actually made in Germany. So that's cool. I'll keep that here. Okay, another feeler gauge. And these, I don't know if I finished explaining, these are for doing things like setting valve tappet clearances on engines. This one's a bit rusty inside, but it may clean up okay. So yeah, we'll try and clean that up. It's going to be $5 to $10. And another one. This one looks like a much better one. I'll probably keep this one here. That's nice, actually. No damage. There's 2 thou. You can see how thin the 2 thou one is. So that's 2/1000 of an inch. 1.5. Yeah, that's nice. I'm actually going to keep that one here. We don't have metric with it, but it's a nice Imperial feeler gauge set. I would think that's probably at least $10 to sell. I'll check it out. The brand, it may be an English brand again. That's quite nice. This side of the box, we have a, looks like a tail light. Oh, it's actually set up on a clamp. I wonder if that's like a bike accessory, bicycle accessory. It is branded. That's cool. Well, we're going to clean that up. That will sell for sure. We'll get back to you on some of those prices once we clean things up and see how they look. Not exactly sure what that is. A little rack for holding files or something. It may be homemade again. I don't know. A tape measure that looks like it's pretty rough. Yeah, the end's been all chewed up. It's probably not so bad once we get into the tape. And it's probably an English one. Again, Abbey and Hockey and Abbey, maybe. Brass handle. So it's all okay. The stitching around the leather is still alright, except the tape itself isn't much good. Still, I reckon it's saleable, if only as a decorative piece. We might just buff the brass up so it looks a bit nicer. Maybe $10. Might be struggling for 10. Another spanner. This looks like a separator spanner, and it is branded again, but I can't quite read it. So that's for a milk or a cream separator, I would suggest. So probably $10 there again. And a couple of spoons. That's a little mustard spoon. By the look of it, I'd say it's just a silver-plated brass. Quite an old one. That would be worth putting with a mustard pot in the shop. I'd probably just normally put it in the $1 box with some other old cutlery, but I would keep that probably as a go-with for a mustard pot. This one may be a sugar spoon, I'm not sure. It looks like hallmarks on the back, but the way it's worn, I'd suggest it's probably just silver plate. Maybe not. All right, I think we might have some real... Oh, no, it says EP. So it's electroplated. But they really trick you. If we get a close-up on this, they really trick you with stamping things to look like hallmarks when they're actually not. But that's cute. We might just give that a quick polish up, and we might get $5 for that. It's quite an old one. And that's the end of our box. The box itself is saleable. It's a bit rough. It's only ply on the top. But I reckon it's probably worth a little bit of a wash up. And it might be a good display box for tools in the shop perhaps. Or I might just put $5 on it. Very good. Let's buff up a few of these things. And we'll get back to you with a better look at them. And of course the notepad. And here we go. Everybody's favourite part. The money shot. Let's go through these things. I'm keeping these. This one's actually a branded Moore and Wright, which was a very well-known, quite expensive manufacturer of metalwork tools and specialist instruments and that sort of stuff. So I'm going to keep those because they're going to be handy. I would probably put $15 on that set if I had them in the shop. I'll keep the pulley. I'll go and sharpen my pencils in a minute. The saw set, we went 15, didn't touch that. This, I think it's a bicycle light. I cleaned it up a little bit. I couldn't read the brand on it. It looks like it has just some sort of symbol there. It clamps on whatever you want to clamp it on, and the actual light pivots. So it folds away. Pretty cool. I don't exactly know what it's for. I'm guessing a bicycle or something with a battery. Perhaps it's a reading light for in a car. Actually, I might have to research that a bit more. You could clamp it on your sun visor. Not sure. Don't know what FGS means. Let me know if you know any more about that. I've just priced it at $10, but I'm quite happy to be informed a bit more and maybe put the price up. Or if you're a subscriber and you want it for $10, let me know. I just buffed up the brass on the front of the tape measure. It says number 250 and it's a 66 foot or feet tape measure, which is what, 3 chain. Cleaned up all the other stuff here. These ones are English feeler gauges as well. The screwdriver cleaned up quite nicely. Just put a bit of beeswax on the handle after a bit of a sand. And it's branded Henry & Co. Sheffield. So it's quite an early, I think I called it a carpenter screwdriver. Maybe it's a cabinet screwdriver. Not sure on the exact terms. I'm going to put 15 on that. These things I'm still none the wiser on a couple of these. Although this little stand here is perfect for holding pens. So maybe that will be a display piece in the shop for some of our vintage pens. I've just put these at $1 each anyway. The Yale padlock may go up in value if I find a key for it. And the spoon's polished up very nicely indeed. A little bit of corrosion to the little mustard spoon, but the other one cleaned up very well. They are just silver plate though. So I went $5 on that, and I think I put 3 on the mustard spoon. And the box, I washed the box up. It still says Shed, but it's a bit cleaner and neater, and I think I went $10 on that. So that brings us to the notepad, and the list of prices, as discussed, pretty much $100. Who would have thought $100 out of a little box that was only really half full? No outstanding treasures, but every time you find tools, there's always good value, particularly old tools. So if you're ever at an auction and bidding on a box of old tools, I reckon always bid twice what you think it's worth, because I've never been disappointed, and purely just the quantity does well, because you're not going to have, you know, modern junk. You're going to have good old-fashioned. Even the spanners are going to get at least $5. So there we go, another little box out. We won't do the circuit breakers this time because I'm running out of time, but this was a pretty good little unboxing. And this unboxing takes us to $7,300, which we've priced and taken to the shop and just about mostly sold in the time that we've been cleaning out that emergency storage shed. So big bucks, lots more to go. Stay tuned. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.